Okay, so I am recording this literally in the middle of a moment in my life where I feel like everything just keeps SHITing all over me. But at the same time, there's opportunity, there's doors opening, there's quantum leaps happening that I feel like are like, what the hell? But, again, the SHITing all over me. And so I need to say this and make it very clear. Okay, failure only becomes a thing, only becomes a possibility when you give up, when you believe that you are failing, when you start letting that thought take over, shut you down, and make you believe that, oh, okay, I am failing. When in reality, it's just giving you another option, another pathway, another perspective to look at it. When there's obstacles in your way, and I've been getting thrown a lot of obstacles in my way, for sure, especially when it comes to planning things out. Source isn't throwing those things in your way to piss you off. Source isn't trying to get in the way. Life isn't trying to piss you off. What is trying to happen, what is trying to come through is actually an opportunity of growth, an opportunity for you to see things in a different way, for you to go through that adversity and overcome it, to make that part of your success story down the road, to make that part of your, what's that word? Your come up story. How did you go through the AKA trenches of your life? And what made you get to the other end? But you can't tell that story to people down the road if you're the one that's going to let yourself give up, because that's where the failure happens. There's no such thing as fails. There's only attempts, there's only tries, and then to get back up and keep trying again and again and again. And here's the thing, when we're trying to go through any type of journey that involves us having to persevere like crazy, let's say it's a business, because that's something that I'm going through right now. There's going to be a lot of moments where you are going to fall on your ASS, okay? You're going to fall. And you're the one, no one else is going to do it for you. You're the one that's going to need to pick yourself back up and reflect back on how you could do better moving forward next time down the road. I have learned so many things through my own personal journey and personal hiatuses as well with my own online business. And one of the biggest things that I have taken away through the last 3 to almost 4 years doing this stuff is every single thing you go through that feels like it's a fall or a come down is actually a lesson, and it's trying to show you something, show something to you right in your face that you are lacking in a certain area of your life, or maybe a certain trait in your personality that's going to help you get stronger, that's going to help you be better than you were prior if you apply that and humble yourself or wisen up to that lesson, or by applying what you just learned into your life moving forward. It's about application, simple application. And it's very, very simple. It's nothing that is very, very mathematical and like something complex that you need to solve. I think our brains just try to make everything seem very much more complicated than they actually are, because of trauma and because of old narratives and belief systems that we put in our head, which is like AKA self-doubt and just fear of failing, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment. When we have all those things that are pre-programmed inside of us, everything that we think is going to be coming from that root source. So when you're trying to succeed at something, you're going to be more prone to giving up because you already think that you are kind of predisposed to fail at it to begin with. Does that make sense? But failure is only an option when you give up. So, there were so many times in my own personal journey where I have almost given up. I've almost given up so many times, not just a handful, thousands of times, on myself, on my goals, on my passion, on my mission that I feel like I'm meant to do here on this planet. And I'm going to tell you right now that if I didn't allow myself, give myself full permission to stand up to the challenges, to the tests that source has put in my way, that I myself may have self-sabotagingly put in my own way, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have the opportunities that I have today. And it's because I showed up for me. I took sacred responsibility and I said, okay, I want to do this. And I'm not taking no for an answer for myself, because I know I can do this. Maybe I don't believe it yet, But as long as I keep telling myself I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, for as much as I gotta fake it till I make it, eventually I will start believing it because I will see that I have been putting in the hours, that I've been putting in the time. But that's not all gonna happen if you give up now. So I just felt really called to put this out there because I need everyone to understand that you don't fail at life. You don't fail at your goals. If something didn't work out the first time, it's because that you just learned one way it doesn't work. Then you get to experiment and try out another way that it might work. You know, I have tried starting up this business in different ways. I've worked with clients already in the past and changed my I guess you could say branding or branding message so many different times. I've gone through so many different website designs, so many different just goals on where I want to go with this business. It's always a work in progress because life is ever evolving. We're ever evolving. And anything that has to do with something that is aligned with passion and love is always going to be ever evolving. So there's no end goal that's fixed. And we need to kind of practice more acceptance on that with ourselves, self-acceptance, to understand that if there's no angle that's fixed, why are we fixating on an A to B plan if life is kind of sprinkling this here or problems there in our way, trying to help us learn to be flexible and flow and balance structure with flow at the same time? Because we can't just be rigid, because life isn't rigid in just one way of doing things. And that you doing that, having that fixed mindset is what is going to lead you to wanting to give up in the end and then leading you to ultimately failure. So we need to be more open and susceptible to change. We need to be more curious instead of closed on this one way, all or nothing mentality, because all or nothing mentality is so forced onto society right now, especially in America. And I have been a victim of all or nothing mentality my entire life, but I'm trying to show up here and say, like, what if vulnerability is actually the power that allows you to be able to get all your dreams in life, but you're the only one that's holding yourself back from achieving it because you think there's only one way, or you think this one way you did it that didn't work out was the only way, when in reality, it's limitless. So I just want you guys to sit on that. Sending you all so much unconditional love. Sorry if this was a little bit of a long one. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.